To paginate Bill.com API events, you need to understand the basics of the Bill.com API and how pagination works. The Bill.com API uses a standard pagination mechanism to limit the number of results returned in a single response. This is necessary to prevent overwhelming the API and to make it more efficient. First, you need to make an initial request to the Bill.com API to retrieve a list of events. The API response will contain a limited number of results, typically 100 or 200, and will also include a cursor or a pagination token. This token is used to retrieve the next page of results. To paginate the events, you need to include the pagination token in your subsequent requests. You can do this by adding a parameter to your API request, such as next_start or cursor, and setting its value to the pagination token received in the previous response. For example, if you are using the Bill.com API to retrieve a list of payments, your initial request might look like this. You send a GET request to the payments endpoint. The response will contain a list of payments and a pagination token. To retrieve the next page of payments, you send another GET request to the payments endpoint, but this time you include the pagination token in the request. Best practices for paginating Bill.com API events include handling errors and exceptions properly, such as when the pagination token is invalid or has expired. You should also implement a mechanism to limit the number of requests you make to the API to prevent overwhelming it. In terms of key concepts, it is essential to understand the difference between offset-based pagination and cursor-based pagination. Offset-based pagination involves specifying the number of results to skip before starting to return results, while cursor-based pagination involves using a token to retrieve the next page of results. In conclusion, paginating Bill.com API events is a straightforward process that involves making an initial request to the API, retrieving the pagination token, and including it in subsequent requests to retrieve the next page of results. By following best practices and understanding key concepts, you can efficiently retrieve large datasets from the Bill.com API and build robust and scalable applications.